Hi all, today we are going to discuss about Fourier analysis of three-phase full converter. So, we have already seen in the last class that the full converter can be consisting of a bridge type of connection which consists of the thick thyristors, and the thyristors are numbered according to the order in which they are triggered. That means the difference between the triggering angle of each of these thyristors we have seen there will be 60 degrees. So, this upper thyristors are called as a positive group and the lower side thyristor is called as a negative group. At a time, one thyristor from the positive group and one thyristor from the negative group will conduct so that the output current will pass. And to make the analysis easy, I am taking my output current as a pure or the constant value of the DC so that the analysis will be much more easy. So, let us assume, because at this instant you can see at this instant the thyristor which is connected to A phase in the positive group, that means thyristor T1 is forward biased. Let us assume I am not triggering my thyristor at alpha is equal to 0. I am triggering after some angle alpha. That means after this much angle alpha, I have triggered my thyristor T1. So when I trigger the thyristor T1 at this instant, so the thyristor which is connected to the A phase as well as the B phase will start conducting. So your output voltage will be VAB. So after an angle of alpha, next thyristor is triggered. That means thyristor C will be triggered because this is C. So the C actually at this instant only it becomes forward biased because the negative group we have to see the negative maximum voltage, but after angle of alpha we are triggering it, so the current will transfer from the B phase to C phase. That means the first one A phase positive group is same, the second subscript is changed here, that means it is changed from VAB to VAC. So now after 60 degrees what happens, the B will be triggered after the angle of alpha, this which is connected to B will be triggered. So your output voltage will be VBC. And similarly next it will be VBA. In this form they are conducting. Or other sense, if you are taking the current supplied by the thyristor 1, so thyristor 1 will conduct for a duration of total 120 degrees. For 60 degrees it will combine with the thyristor of phase B negative group, and for 60 degrees it will combine with thyristor of negative group of phase C. But IT1 is conducting for a 120 degrees out of the 360 degrees. So similarly, if you are taking the IT4 which is connected to the C, this group A, that means negative group of A, again that also will be conducting for 120 degrees out of the total duration. So now coming to the current IA, current supplied by the phase A, you can observe here the current supplied by the phase A, where the A is coming first VAB, VAC. So where A is coming in the first, during that duration the current will be positive. You can see the current is positive, and wherever A is coming in the second one, that means the negative group is conducting. That means the current direction in the source is opposite because in that phase. So VBA, VCA, during this much duration the current will be negative. Total how much is there? This one is conducting for 60 degrees, this one for 60 degrees. So total 120 degrees. So 120 degrees it is conducting in positive, 120 degrees in negative out of total 360 degrees. So this is my source current. Similar way I can calculate for phase B also. Phase B 120 degrees it will conduct positive and 120 degrees will be negative. So same thing is the case for phase C. So now proceeding further, in order to make the Fourier analysis of my current supplied from the source, the current supplied from the source is I can take for phase A for example. This is my waveform. So I want to resolve this waveform into fundamental component, DC component, and fundamental component and the higher order harmonic components. So that I can use the Fourier analysis where Is of t will be equal to A naught plus sigma n is equal to 1 to etc. up to infinity Cn into sine of n omega t plus theta n, where Cn is given by square root of An square plus Bn square and theta n is a tan inverse of An by Bn. So where the value of A naught will be 1 by 2 pi integration from 0 to 2 pi Is of t d omega t. It gives the average value. That average value of the current gives the DC component. Now coming to the An component, so An will be equal to 2 by 2 pi integration from 0 to 2 pi, that Is of t, whatever is the instantaneous value, I have to multiply with cos n omega t d omega t. So similarly Bn will be I have to multiply with sin n omega t. So what is the order we have to calculate? In order to calculate Is of t, first I will calculate I naught, then an, then bn. From this I can calculate my value of Cn and theta n, then substitute in this formula. So I will get the equation for the current in terms of DC and AC components. So as I am taking I naught as constant, I can calculate I naught, A naught will be equal to average component is out of 1 by 2 pi from alpha plus pi by 6. You can see here from alpha plus pi by 6 to alpha plus pi by 6, it is positive. From alpha plus 7 pi by 6 to alpha plus 11 pi by 6, it is negative. So the same thing I have taken here, alpha plus pi by 6 to alpha plus pi by 6, it is positive, that is I naught d omega t. And from alpha plus 7 pi by 6 to alpha plus 11 pi by 6, it is minus I naught. So I have taken minus I naught d omega t. If you do the integration, you will get it as a 0. We can tell the net DC component will be equal to 0. So that is the advantage here. The transformer secondary will not get saturated even though you are using the star connection. I have explained the same thing in last class also, and here is the proof. The net DC component is 0. So now coming to an will be equal to 1 by pi. Integration from alpha plus pi by 6 to alpha plus pi by 6, it is I naught. I have to multiply with cos n omega t. Similarly, this minus I naught also I am multiplying with cos n omega t. This I naught I am taking outside, and integration of cos n omega t will be equal to sin n omega t divided by n. So that n also I had taken outside. This is I naught by n pi into sin n omega t. You have to submit the limits from this range to this range, minus again this also sin n omega t. You have to substitute the limits of this one in this formula. So when you substitute the limits and simplify, you will get it as a minus 4 times of I naught by n pi into sin n alpha multiplied by sin n pi by 3. This is for n is equal to 1, 3, 5, etc. And this value will be equal to 0 for 1, 2, 4, etc. That means for even numbers it will be 0, and for odd numbers this will be the magnitude. So similarly I can calculate for Bn. So instead of cos n omega t, I am multiplying with sin n omega t. Integration of sin n omega t is minus cos n omega t divided by n. That n I have taken here. Again simplified. So you will get it as 4 times of I naught by n pi into cos n alpha into sin n pi by 3. So this is for again odd numbers, and for even numbers again this will be equal to 0. So now I can tell that the Cn will exist only for the odd numbers. Even numbers it is 0. So odd numbers it will be equal to square root of an square plus bn square. I have substituted the terms. Here you can see 4 times of I naught by n pi is constant term, and this is sin n alpha. Sin n alpha is the term that is also the constant term, and this is sin n pi by 3. So this is also the constant term. So here only the variable is sin n alpha, and cos n alpha is here, right? So when you are taking the square, sin square n alpha plus cos square n alpha, this sum will be equal to 1. So only remaining terms will remain, because you can see 4 I naught by n pi is same here and here also. Similarly, sin n pi by 3 is same here and here also. So that will come out. So this is 4 times of I naught by n pi into sin n pi by 3 for n is the odd number, and it will be 0 for the even number, because again bn is equal to 0. So now I can calculate the theta n will be equal to tan inverse of an divided by bn. So I can substitute the value of an and bn. So when you substitute, this is my value of an, this is my value of bn. So whichever common terms are there, that will cancel. Only terms remaining is minus sin n alpha is remaining here, and cos n alpha. So this will be minus tan n alpha. So tan inverse of minus tan n alpha will be equal to minus n alpha. So that is my value of theta n. So from this I can calculate my resultant value, that means Is of t I can represent as, because only odd harmonics are remaining and DC component is also 0, even harmonics also 0. So that's why n will be equal to 1, 3, 5, etc. up to infinite. 4I naught by n pi into sin n pi by 3 into sin of n omega t minus theta. Theta is equal to n alpha. So this is n alpha. N omega t plus theta is actual 1. So theta is minus n alpha. So minus n alpha I have substituted here. So this is of the form the maximum value multiplied by a sine term. Agree with me, because this is the constant term. So this is the maximum value multiplied by the sine term. If you want to calculate the RMS value, you have to divide this by root 2. So RMS value of the nth harmonic will be 1 by root 2 times of this component. 1 by root 2 times of that component I have taken. So I want the RMS value of the fundamental component of current. So IS1 will be equal to 2 root 2 by pi into I naught into wherever n is there, substitute 1, sine of pi by 3. And here n pi, n I have taken 1, so it becomes pi. You will get it as root 6 by pi times of I naught. So now RMS value of the source current, because your source current is actually conducting for a duration of 120 degrees out of 180 degrees. So that's why this I can write as Is square into 2 pi by 3 divided by pi. This will become I naught into square root of 2 by 3. This is my RMS value of my source current. Out of the source current, the fundamental component is Is1 is this much. So now I can calculate the displacement factor. Displacement factor is the cos of the angle subtended by the fundamental component of the current. Fundamental component of current is minus n alpha. We got n is equal to 1. This becomes minus alpha. So this is equal to cos alpha. Now current distortion factor is Is1 divided by Is. Fundamental component by total component. So this will be 3 by pi, that means 0.955. So from this I can calculate my source power factor. Source power factor is nothing but current distortion factor multiplied by displacement factor. This will be, when you are multiplying these two, it will be 3 by pi into cos alpha. This will be 0.995 into cos alpha. So it is depending on the value of the alpha. As the alpha is changing, automatically the power factor is also affecting here. Now coming to the harmonic factor, which is also called as a total harmonic distortion, will be square root of 1 by CDF square minus 1. So this will be, when I substitute it, I got it as 0.3108, or it is nothing but 31.08%. Total harmonic distortion factor is decreased. Now coming to the RMS value of the output voltage, this is already calculated before in the last class, and average value of the voltage is also calculated in the last class. So now coming to the voltage ripple factor. Voltage ripple factor is the output parameter. In the output I want the pure DC value, but practically we are getting the AC component along with the DC component. So voltage ripple factor indicates how much value of the AC component, how much percentage of AC component is there out of the total component that is coming at your output. So it will be the ratio of VOR divided by V naught whole square minus 1 whole to the power of 1 by 2. How this came, we have already discussed in our previous lectures in Fourier analysis topics. So when I am substituting it, I will get this answer. So no need to mug up these formulas. Only thing is you should know what is the formula for this one. So these other things we can calculate easily in the exam, and then you can substitute and get your answer. So please try to only remember these things. What is voltage ripple factor, like these type of things. Now active input power. So the input power we have seen already, this will be equal to 3 times of Vs into Is1 into cos theta 1. Is1 is the fundamental RMS component of current. Cos theta 1 is the angle corresponding to, theta 1 is angle corresponding to fundamental component of current with Vs. So we know Vs is equal to line voltage divided by root 3, because we are representing all in terms of line values. So this will be 3 times of VL divided by root 3 into root 6 by pi into I naught into cos alpha. So this I can write in the form 3 times of VML by pi into cos alpha into I naught. Because this is the RMS value, I can convert to the maximum value. So I have converted to the maximum value, I got this one into cos alpha into I naught. So this will become equal to V naught multiplied by I naught. This will be V naught multiplied by I naught. Why this is coming, you will get doubt. So that's why let me explain this. Because this is root 3, this is root 6. When you crosses, it will become root 2 times of the line voltage. So VL is the RMS value. Root 2 times of RMS value will be equal to maximum value. So that's why it is VML. This is the reason I got this one. So now coming to the reactive power input. Reactive power input will be equal to 3 times of, because it is 3 phases, voltage per phase into current per phase, fundamental component into sine of the angle. So this will become, when you substitute this, you will get the answer as 3VML by pi into I naught into sine alpha. But we know that average output voltage is 3VML by pi into cos alpha. So from this I can tell 3VML by pi I can write as V naught divided by cos alpha. So wherever this 3VML by pi is there, I am representing with V naught by cos alpha. So remaining term is same, I naught sine alpha. This will become V naught into I naught into sine alpha by cos alpha will be equal to tan alpha. So similar way you can calculate the transformer utilization factor and other things, as they are already discussed in the last class. So that's why I am not discussing here. So this also includes in the performance parameters of these converters. I hope how to do the Fourier analysis of the full converter is completely clear to you. If you still have any queries, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. I will answer to your queries from there. Thank you very much.